what's up, everybody? Welcome back into the show. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. All right, guys, today I got a fun video for you. We're talking about sleeper league-winning running backs. So they have to fit two categories, right? They have to be league-winning running backs, and they have to be a sleeper at the same time. So, I'm not going to be including guys like Saquon. Well, Saquon could be a league-winning running back this year, but he's not a sleeper, right? So I'm also not going to include sleepers that don't actually have league-winning upside. So they have to fit both categories. So I have a list here that is really good for you guys. Starting right here, the first player I got is Rashad White. Now, Rashad White last season really started to edge out Leonard Fournette later as the season went along, and he completely and utterly took over the running back one role for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so this is a guy, look, he had 455 yards created. Not bad for an opportunity share of only, 38.5%. Now, obviously, the opportunity share went up and up as the season went along, and he started to get more than 50% of the carries in the back half of the season, and especially, in the one playoff game they had. But, for the majority of the season, he was behind Leonard Fournette to start things, and he still had 455 yards created all on his own, which means yards that you create after first contact. This is a guy who had an 86.2% catch rate. This was second in the NFL, meaning that he's catching his passes at an extremely high clip. So he's an efficient pass-catching back, as we've seen early in his career. And, this was really highlighted in the one playoff game they had against Cowboys. He caught 4 of 6 passes in that game for 36 yards. Very efficient. He was by far and away the more productive back between Leonard Fournette and himself in that game. And so what did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do? They ended up releasing Leonard Fournette not that long ago, and so it looks like Rashad White's going to be by far and away the number one back. They did sign Chase Edmonds, but we know that Chase Edmonds is pretty much just a backup running back wherever he goes. And he's a decently talented running back, but Rashad White is going to be the guy. He's going to get a ridiculous opportunity share this season. We're going to have to see who the starting quarterback is and how everything plays out for Tampa Bay. But, I love this dude's talent. If you watched him in college and you watched him in his first year in the NFL, just the eye test alone will tell you that this guy is ridiculously talented, and he has the ability to put up some high-end running back 2 numbers this year, I truly believe. So considering the fact that you could get this guy in like round 6, 7 in the draft, he's a tremendous draft value right now, and he's a potential huge league-winning sleeper running back. Next player on my list is going to be Tyler Algier. Now, I am very excited about this one, guys. This is a guy who was the number 1 rated PFF rookie running back last year. So as far as his PFF grade, he exceeded all other rookie running backs. This is very impressive. He had over 1,000 rushing yards, 13 breakaway runs, which is top 12 in the NFL. He had 65 evaded tackles. This is top 12 in the NFL. So the fact of the matter is this dude is an absolute tank, and he's really hard to take down at first contact. So, he's a good tackle-breaking running back, and it looks like he's going to be by far and away the number 1 back in the backfield this year. I mean, Cordero Patterson is like 32 years old now, I believe. Either way, he's old. We all know he's been in the league for quite some time now. And, there's no way in the world that Tyler Algier is not going to absolutely head this backfield this year. Look for him to potentially be a 3-down back. I mean, I legitimately think that he could be one of the true 3-down backs in the NFL this year in fantasy. And that's obviously going to always provide you some tremendous upside. Now, are the Falcons going to be an efficient overall offense? I doubt it. So I don't know if the touchdown upside is necessarily there. But this guy is going to be touching the ball a lot, and he's a talented running back. So look for a potential, 12 or 1,300 rushing yard season for Tyler Algier, maybe even more. Who knows? Last and final player I have here on my list is Isaiah Pacheco. Now, I am by far and away more excited about this guy than I am on the other 2 running backs on this list. I like those other 2 running backs, but not nearly as much as I like this running back. Look, this is a guy who is 5'10", 215 pounds, and runs a 4.37 40. He's an absolute tank, and he's fast as lightning. That's always going to provide awesome big playability. We know that he's in a Chiefs offense that has the potential to, on any given season, be the highest scoring offense in the NFL, so the touchdown opportunities are going to be there. Now, in recent years, Chiefs running backs have been kind of shunned when they get, on the goal line, because the Chiefs like to run so many trick plays and jet sweeps, and you just never really know what they're going to do because they're a very creative play calling offense. So they're not always just going to pound the ball when they're on the 1 or 2 yard line like every other team in the NFL is going to do. But they haven't had a running back with the size or speed of Isaiah Pacheco. So, you got to figure a running back of this talent level is going to actually receive a very healthy red zone not only target share out of the backfield, but opportunity share as far as, carries within the red zone and on the 1 and 2 yard line. So He's going to get a lot of scoring opportunities, and they're actually going to hand him the ball when they're within the 5-yard line, which they've been afraid to do in the past because they didn't really trust Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So Isaiah Pacheco is going to absolutely go off this season. He was very efficient last year, 4.9 yards per carry. This is very impressive. Now, I don't want to get too incredibly far into the statistics from last season because he's just a rookie, right? Small sample size. But if you watch this guy play, and I know you guys did because a lot of you probably watched the AFC Championship game, and that game he had 6 catches against the Bengals. That's absolutely awesome. So the pass catching work is trending in a positive direction for him. And also, if you watched him in the Super Bowl, he was very efficient. From what I remember, he had something like 13 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown, I believe is what it was. Anyway, he was very efficient as a runner, and he started to be fed a lot more as far as targets out of the backfield. So this guy is an absolute weapon. I think that they're going to use him a lot more on the goal line than they've used their pass running backs in the Mahomes era on the goal line because they're actually going to trust him a lot more because he's by far and away the most talented running back they've had in quite some time. So, yeah, I love Isaiah Pacheco this coming season. You can get him later in the draft than both Rashad White and Tyler Algier, and I think he has potentially more upside than either of them. So I love him this coming season. I don't usually trust Chiefs running backs for fantasy, but this guy's an exception of the rule because of how ridiculously talented it is and ridiculously talented he is, and because of the fact that we started to see him get a healthy target share out of the backfield as the season progressed. Like I said, he had 6 catches in that game against the Bengals, so they're not afraid to feed this guy as far as targets out of the backfield. So I love his outlook this coming season. All right, guys, those are my sleeper league-winning running backs. Like I said, they have to fit both. They have to be sleepers, people we haven't really seen break out before that are going in kind of the mid or later rounds of the draft, and they have to be potential players that have actual league-winning upside. These guys legitimately can win you your league. They can end up being your second best running back or maybe, who knows, even your first best running back. So make sure to get these guys on your fantasy team. These guys are going to absolutely explode. Do not miss out on getting these guys on your team. Appreciate it, guys. See you later.